My tale is really about homelessness. I spent 4.5 years rough sleeping on the streets around Britain. Now I work with an organisation which is the Invisible Manchester, and we do street tours around Manchester to awareness of homelessness. And the tales that I try to tell is about awareness of homelessness. As I say, I've been there, done it, wrote the book, but it's about awareness of making people know what homelessness is about, in the sense that you see people living on the streets, and I say people because that's what they are people, and you see the people living on the streets. That is only a small percentage of homelessness. It goes to a range of different groups of people who are couch surfing, got me nose fixed, now we know the word, and people in hostels, in bed and breakfasts, and in temporary accommodation, which some of the temporary accommodation is really, really rough. I got off the streets and moved into a hotel, so-called, and I only lasted a day. And as I was walking out, I wiped my feet on the way out because it was absolutely horrible to live in, and I prefer to stay on the streets. So, it's a lot of things that, we do a lot of talking now through organisations and through events like this, and we get asked a lot of questions about homelessness and what it's about. Why do people become homeless? Why do people live on the streets? Why isn't there so much help to help people to get off the streets? In my mind, it'd be lovely to turn around and build 100 houses across the road and say, yeah, get in there, mate, you got a home. You can't do that, because if you take someone off the streets and put them into a home, they can't cope. They've spent many years living rough on the streets, and you just take them off and just put them into somewhere. They've never paid a bill. I did it when I first come off the streets. I went into a temporary accommodation and then got my own home, and I struggled, really struggled, because I'd never paid a bill. And a funny thing was, a lady said to me one day while I was living on the streets, and a lady came over to me and she said, I wasn't a beggar on the streets, and I'll make this point clear that everyone you see on the streets, everyone who's homeless isn't always a beggar, and all the beggars aren't always homeless, because we have a lot of people that actually come out to beg on the streets. We have a big problem. It's highlighted in Manchester, but it's throughout the country, of the drug addiction of the spice, which is known as the zombie drug. And you will see people, as you go down the streets, just basically sitting there or standing there. Doesn't mean they're homeless. They're out to just beg money for their addiction. So One thing I do say is that not all people on the streets are beggars. So please take that from me. So when we're talking about things, when we go out to organisations and whatever, we do a lot of talking and explaining about homelessness. That, look at the person. That is a person. And just together now, just look at the person sat next to you. Just look at the person sat next to you and shake their hand. How difficult is that? To just look at the person sat next to you and shake their hands. The next thing you do is you say, "Hiya, what's your name?"
Rabina. How do you do?
Rabina.
Rabina. Elena.
Right, pass it that good one. So, how difficult is that to just stop and talk to someone and say, "Hiya, what's your name?" And that person that's sat there is looking at feet all day long, just a pair of feet, walking up and down. And they are looking down. Now, as soon as I did that, what's your name? Her eyes went up, her head went up. That person in the street will put their head up. And it's, you don't have to, you can turn around to someone and say, "I'm sorry, I've got no money," but shake your hand. It's not it. So, that awareness lifts that person's head high. And, that means a lot to someone rather than thinking, sticking to Bob in their plastic cup or whatever. So, I've lost the track now. It's very, very difficult to understand that amount of loneliness, and through what we do now, I've got myself off the streets through a great organisation called Boot Centre, which Cash has really worked with us and donated a lot of money from his swimming to help people get back into employment. So I'm really, really grateful for him for that. And through that organisation, I built myself up of going in to get a breakfast every day, get a cup of tea, but just talking to people. I became a volunteer there, and I ended up a qualified mentor. So I work with other organisations and homeless people throughout. And this year I had the great honour of having my book published of poetry, which through my tours in Manchester, I read my poetry around Manchester. And I don't take you, if you come on our tours, we won't say, "Oh, this is our town hall," or "This is this," or "This is that." This is where I used to sleep, and this is where I got my teeth kicked in, and this is where I got a scar. So it's about reality of what we do to show people that we are human. Homeless people are humans, and there's a great thingy that last year I had an opportunity to work with a couple of other guys poets from Manchester, and we put an arts exhibition on in Manchester at the exhibition centre. I can't think of the place now. The Albert Hall in Manchester, and we had 86 pieces of art that was put up for sale. 85 of them were sold straight off, and all the money went back to the people who had done that bit of art, and they were all done by homeless people, and the art was absolutely fantastic. I said 85 were sold. The 86th one went back to the boot centre because it was mine and no one wanted to buy it. But I wasn't selling it. It was a statue of a homeless man that I made myself, and it goes out on display all over Manchester. So it's like selling my baby. So, like I say, I had a great opportunity this last year through Invisible Cities of publishing my book, and that's my boss here, Alice.
I thought you needed this.
Come on, then. Come on, Alice. So I'm going to round off now with a little piece of a poem that I did, and this is when I can find my glasses, because you're hidden behind my microphone. Oh, I'm in terrible shape tonight.
But you've been in worse than it.
Oh, I've been in a lot worse places than this, I'll tell you. I don't feel posh tonight, look. It's alright. The suit's going back tomorrow. It's only on hire. So, this is, when I can find it. What page is it on?
I don't know which one you want.
I don't know. And our fantastic photographer here this evening wrote the biography of this book as well. So a big hand for Alice. She's a great help to me. And I'm thinking on now because I can't find what page it was on, because I don't give us that one. So this is the one I use on the streets. So, this is a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek about a day in the life of a homeless person. So, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to get you to join in. So, I want you all to stand up. Go to Elpsford, have a walk round town. If it's sunny, I'll go to the park. But if it's raining, if it's sunny, I'll go to the park. But I don't know if I want a beer or a piece of cake. But it's raining, so I'll go down to the canal. Sit there, walk under a bridge, watch the world go by. But I've still not decided if I want a beer or a piece of cake. So the rain's gone off now. Time for a walk. Meet some people. Have a talk. And as I sit here, I meet I've lost the plot again. So it's getting late now. Time to kip out. Time to get my sleeping bag out. And as I lay here, going to sleep, I think to myself, I made the right choice. I didn't have a beer, but I had a piece of cake. Hey! Thank you.